Ombo Jogni Shadla Shansolo Sanchoy Damba Lime Live Serda Lava Shadla Shansolo Dulbara Shadla Serda Soma Chen Yame Chen Chen Chedla Chans Ombo Dukji Chedamba Danji Chen Dom Sodlam Yandan Jamso Shen Dirshen Chedla Chans we lo che war lo ju le ge be ngan san la de ji lo dom dom jog ju lo wa she ju le che la chen sa ta na la li la mi an don la wa la la lam sing ge dom ba yan don don gen don la yan chen sa de wa je ya me ja shen ge wa bon som so ran ge sem ne yan so de ne san je dam ba Armada Marme Dan Juma Silva Shubu Nidon Bagdum Bilda Tuche Janjin Yedala Sodnom Deye Danji Sewa Ye Gombon Chenje Dado Le Gadana Shivin Lapto with Serbin Solo Dolwar Joy Bhagwan Chusanda Jan Solo Dega Legin Dewan Shamdanda Jalbong Havjar Bombard Gelong Gindon Chembo and Janchu Sembing Gindon Chembo Havjudo Shogde de Yinse Jamdanda Samanang Chejevin Choji Namdanji Dengan Zendan Embarjuk Yan de Yinse Janchu Sembaz.
So, have we already recited the Heart Sutra? Yes. So that's good. So we have the reincarnation of Kalka Jitun Rinpoche. Does he understand Tibetan, the central Tibetan dialect? So he has come here to attend for the Krishnacharya system of, or tradition of Heruka empowerment, which was a practice of the previous Kalka Jitun Tampas as well. So this has been a very auspicious occasion for him. So in Tibet, Tantra or sacred Mantrayana has spread widely. And then with regards to the Chakrasamvara tradition of Tantra, the Luipa tradition, and the Gandhapada, the great Mahasiddha Gandhapada tradition, and also we have the practice of the Bodhi Mandala practice of the Gandhapada tradition of Chakrasamvara, which is a commitment that the practitioners make to their teachers. And then the Krishnacharya tradition of Chakrasamvara, which is quite rare. I have received this initiation from Tata Rinpoche. In my mind, I have quite a close feeling with Krishnacharya tradition of this Chakrasamvara. So today is the preliminary process of the Chakrasamvara Krishnacharya tradition empowerment. So with regard to this Chakrasamvara belonging to the mother tantra amongst the highest yoga tantras. And according to the highest yoga tantra, there are Guya Samaja tantra, which emphasizes or focuses mainly on the illusory body, attainment of illusory body, and then Chakrasamvara emphasizes the clear light aspect of the practice. So, in other words, whichever practice you do, the other one is also comes under the practice of your Guya Samaja practice or Chakrasamvara practice. The illusory, when you make illusory body as the primary practice or the emphasis, the other one also comes. I feel close affinity with Krishnacharya himself. And so, having received the initiation of this particular tantra, I have also done the required retreat meditation as well. And so I feel close with this Krishnacharya tradition, which is quite rare. So the Krishnacharya tradition of Chakrasamvara empowerment, with regard to that, today we are doing the preliminary process of the initiation. So maybe I am boasting myself. I feel I have some connection with Krishnacharya, the great Mahasiddha. So, with regard to this empowerment of Krishnacharya tradition, we are doing the actual initiation is preceded by the preliminary process, which is a required practice in the different tantras. And so with regard to this particular tradition, it must be done. The preliminary process of the initiation must be done. So as I have done the self-generation of myself into the Chakrasamvara himself, so naturally I feel some affinity with Krishnacharya. And so right now I visualize myself as in the form of Chakrasamvara in the Krishnacharya tradition. So first we are doing the dharma offering to drive away any kind of hindrances, the evil forces who might otherwise hinder this process of the initiation. So, for the sake of the disciples who have some connection with me, now with regard to this dharma offering to drive away any evil forces, the real obstacle is within yourself, the self-cherishing attitude and our grasping at some kind of independent, absolute existence of oneself, which is, in other words, the ignorance, fundamental ignorance. So we are making this dharma offering to those who are ignorant about their own true nature. So this is what should be understood. So with regard to Buddha Shakyamuni, who was a unique teacher amongst the different founders of religious traditions, he was endowed with, of course, with regards to compassion and also different activities for the work for other beings. Buddha Shakyamuni was different from others in terms of how he gave teaching to us, his disciples, his followers. He showed the path as to what are the practices to be adopted and practiced, and what are those that need to be avoided. And so with regards to the means of making transformation within ourselves, he gave teachings in the beginning, teachings which counter very gross, negative behaviors and states of mind. And then he went into teachings that are meant for overcoming the subtle impediments within our mind. And therefore he taught emptiness. And emptiness is meditated within the tantric context. Within the tantric context, it is practiced by actualizing the luminous, clear nature of the mind. And so, if you are able to use that luminous, clear light mind, then you will be able to, you have all the potentials within that to attain the Buddha's physical dimension as well as the wisdom dimension of the Buddhas. And so, in other words, through your practice of the tantric the path, you attain what is known as illusory body and clear light, and then bring them together in union on the trainee level, and then the union of these two at the Buddha level. And so these teachings, in other words, are scientific in nature, and it is they are concord with the reality. So we are not just wishing for Buddhahood, but the Buddha's teaching. The Buddhahood is a state where you become totally free from all impediments, all faults, and you'll have all the excellent qualities within yourself. So how you become such a person, free from all faults and endowed with all excellent qualities, is by using, this is done by using our clear light mind, this innate, spontaneous clear light mind that are within ourselves, which is used and transformed into the path leading to enlightenment, Buddhahood. And so, by using this clear light mind, which is always accompanied by the subtle wind energy that transforms into the physical dimension of a trainee level illusory body, and then so this is attaining such high attainments is possible. So within our mind stream, we have the different degrees of subtlety, the gross levels of wind and mind, as well as subtle and the very subtle, the subtlest wind and mind. Since time beginningless, we have these, and these become the basis for the conception of an I. And so this mind, the subtlest mind and wind energy or prana energy, have no beginning at all. So they have come down since time beginningless, and that becomes, these two together becomes the basis of designation of an I for a person. So what happens to us is we are enslaved by the gross states of wind and mind, and therefore we have all kinds of destructive emotions arising in us. So when you are able to actualize this subtle wind-mind energy, then and maintain it, then you will be able to make the gross wind-mind energies to subside. And so through the highest Yoga Tantra practice, through your meditation, power of your meditation, you should bring up, manifest the innate clear light mind and the subtle wind energy accompanying it. And therefore, through this, by turning this into the path, you will be able to attain the Buddha's physical dimension as well as the wisdom dimension. And so when you think through, these explanations or teachings are very reasonable, and they are systematically taught in the scriptures as well as the writings of Master Nagarjuna and also other masters of India, as well as Tibetan, past Tibetan great beings who actualized these through their practice. So, with regards to the prayer, may I attain Buddhahood, which is to say, to reach that union state of the body and mind, the subtle body and mind. They come through our practice by using this subtle wind-mind energy. So tomorrow will be the actual initiation, and today is the preliminary process. For this, so we'll have the mandala offering first. crowned, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, four continents, and sun and the moon. I imagine it is a Buddha filled and offer it to you. May all sentient beings enjoy this perfect Buddha filled. Venerable sublime teachers, in the sky of Dharmakaya, in the sky of your Dharmakaya, gather clouds of your wisdom and compassion, and on the fields of beings to be trained, in accordance with your needs, shower down the rain of profound and extensive teachings. So this is the verse. In the celestial realm encircled by snow peaks, you are the source of every happiness and benefit. Tenzin Gyatso Avalokiteshvara in person. May your lotus feet remain firm for 100 eons. Until the samsara comes to an end. Please repeat these requests after me. So, as I have already done the self-generation into Chakrasamvara, Chakrasamvara, according to the Krishnacharya tradition, two. So with one face and two hands, and so visualize the Lama and the deity as being inseparable. There are some who enter the mandala and seek to attain secret mantra for the sake of this life. So receiving the empowerment or initiation for the sake of this life, this is wrong motivation. The practice is leading to a higher rebirths as gods or humans is even there in the non-Buddhist traditions. So if you practice the different religions sincerely, you'll be able to attain higher rebirths as humans or gods. So here, the purpose of receiving the initiation is not to attain just the higher rebirths as humans or gods, but something higher than that. So in other words, which is to say, a life which is not under the sway of our mental afflictions and negative karmas. So a body that you are seeking to attain is higher than that which is brought about by karma and delusions. And so this is the purpose of Tantra. So in other words, the Tantra means protecting your mind from from ordinary perceptions and ordinary clinging to yourself as an ordinary being. So the very basis of the designation of yourself is not the gross wind and mind energy or wind mind, the gross aggregates, but the subtle wind and mind energy, according to the highest yoga tantra. So in other words, you are aiming to attain a union of the clear light, the subtle innate clear light mind, and this illusory body. So others wish to gain merit, and still others seek something else. The intelligent should enter the mandala with many acts of faith, seeking the goal of that which transcends the world. They should not wish for effects in this life. Those who wish for this life do not seek the aims that transcend the world. Those who seek that which transcends the world achieve extensive results in this life. So, in order to practice Tantra, you need, from this very stage onwards, to have a clear vision of yourself as a deity. And so, for that purpose, rays of light radiate from the home at the heart of the Lama, the Guru, who is inseparable from the principal deity in the mandala, in union with his consort, drawing you one by one into his mouth. So you descend through his body and his sacred organ into the womb of the consort and transform into Hiruka with one face and two hands. So you need to dissolve the idea of yourself being an ordinary person and have this vision of yourself transforming into Hiruka with one face and two hands. Again, rays of light emanate from the womb at the Lama's heart, inviting all the Buddhas who enter him through his mouth and descend into his heart. At the heart of the Lama, they melt into bodhicitta through the fire of passion, which then flows through the Lama's sacred organ and bestows the inner empowerment on you in the womb of the consort. One by one, you emerge from her womb and take a seat outside the eastern gate of the mandala. And so you have to now discard this ordinary perception and clinging of yourself, idea of yourself as being an ordinary, but you have transformed into Hiruka with one face and two hands. You emerge from the mother's womb and are seated now on the eastern gate of the mandala. Please repeat this request. O great joy, you are my teacher. Master, please pay attention to me. O great protector, I seek the firm ways of great enlightenment. Bestow on me the binding precepts. Please confer on me the vows of bodhicitta. And please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. O protector, please. So bodhicitta is something very important. This altruistic intention to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, which is coupled with wisdom. So merely having this some kind of a faith in it, it has the power to create immense merit within yourself, positive energies within yourself. When you have bodhicitta within yourself, this spirit of enlightenment, the altruistic spirit of enlightenment, you have a true peace of mind, and that makes your body also relaxed, your mind relaxed. And so, of course, we have practice for longevity, but if you practice bodhicitta well, this will serve as a practice for longevity. And so it is very sacred. So all the Buddhas, the 1,000 plus Buddhas of this fortunate eon, as we call, are become enlightened because of bodhicitta practice. So for us, also it is very important to practice bodhicitta, this altruistic spirit of enlightenment. So regarding myself, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I practice bodhicitta and also the wisdom of emptiness. So they bring true peace and true courage and determination in my heart. Just by visualizing oneself as a deity, some grand kind of form of deity, doesn't really help to bring that peace of mind. And so this peace of mind, a relaxed state of mind, so of course we talk about all kinds of enemies, adversaries, and friends and close ones. But with bodhicitta, all sentient beings are seen equal. They are equal in the sense of being friends to yourself, close to your heart. So with this motivation of bodhicitta, you always think of benefiting others, not thinking of even the slightest harm that you would cause to them. And so, therefore, it is very precious. So bodhicitta is very precious. And so the best text for bodhicitta practice is Bodhisattva Charya Avatara, a guide to the Bodhisattva way of life. So this text is the unsurpassable text for cultivating bodhicitta, written by Shantideva. So I keep a text of this, a book of this text beside my bed. So it teaches what are the faults or disadvantages and shortcomings of in extreme self-cherishing attitude, and how to cultivate, and the benefits and advantages of cherishing others over oneself. So please confer on me the vows bodhicitta, and please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. O protector, please, and let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. Please repeat again, remembering these explanations. O great joy, you are my teacher, master. Please pay attention to me. O great protector, I seek the firm ways of great enlightenment. Please bestow on me the binding precepts and confer on me the bodhicitta vows, and please grant me the threefold refuge. O protector, please let me into the supreme city of great liberation. Again, O great joy, you are my teacher, master. Please pay attention to me. O great protector, I seek the firm ways of great enlightenment. Please bestow on me the binding precepts. Confer on me the vows of bodhicitta, and please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. O protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great enlightenment, liberation. So when I was in my birthplace, there were 3 children who were considered for the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, and one of them had died. And the second one, when he met with the Mapu Fang, the Chinese warlord at that time ruling that area where I was born. He was very frightened when he met with this Mafu Fang. But then, at the same time, when he was given sweets, he took a handful of sweets or candies. But when I was near him, I wasn't fearful of him at all. And when he offered sweets, it was said that I took one and gave it to my mother, and I took a second one for myself. So this child, Ma Wufang of Xiling at the time, said that there is no other person than this boy as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama. So he was the first person to recognize me as the reincarnation of the previous Dalai Lama. So the place where I was born was quite remote, but I had some imprint from my past life. And then when I reached the central part of Tibet, after leaving my native place, Nechung Oracle went into trance, the medium went into trance and came to me, and I wasn't fearful of him at all. And so at that time, a monk named Yen Tongpen had come to that place. Degutang was the place where the official ceremony of the Tibetan government was arranged. And so Yen Tongpen had later told his students back in Drepung Monastery that the Nechung oracle was genuine. Although during the 13th Dalai Lama's time, there was some kind of a question whether the Nechung oracle was true, real or not. But Yen Tongpen, after returning to Drepung, had told his students that the Nechung oracle at Degutang was genuine, and the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama is also genuine. So I, as an old man, feel very satisfied, he had said. And so, because of my own positive energy, the merit and karma, I became the reincarnation as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, and as the name Thupten Gyatso and Tenzin Gyatso, comparing these two. So Thupten Gyatso is the 13th Dalai Lama's name. Thupten means the teaching of the Shakya Muni, the Muni, and Tenzin means the upholder of the teaching. And so whoever gave this name to me, I was not just a teaching of Shakyamuni, but the protector or the upholder of the teaching. So I have done my best to preserve the teaching of the Buddha. So whether I am greater than Thupten Gyatso or not, it seems that I have become more powerful in protecting or preserving and upholding the teaching of the Buddha. So though we have gone through so much ups and downs, obstacles, but because of the unflinching determination and courage of the Tibetan people, I've been able to make people aware of the teaching of the Buddha. And also there are people in Tibet, China proper, and Mongolia who also have gained interest and pay attention to the teaching of the Buddha. So I have been able to serve the Dharma in these lands as well. So I have no selfish motive at all, but to serve others, to help others through the teaching of the Buddha. So repeating these lines, please confer on me the vows of bodhicitta, and please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and, O Protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation.
Oh, yeah.
So next is fostering firm conviction in the Tantra. Now here you come across this line which says, my child, so which is an indication of closeness feeling. So what this verse is saying is that so far you have been under the sway of your negative emotions, destructive emotions, but now you need to bring your mind away from these negative emotions, and that it's time for you to tread on the path to enlightenment, Buddhahood. So come here, child. I will teach you thoroughly the rites of Mahayana secret mantra. The rite of Mahayana secret mantra, you are the vessel of gateway. With the peerless yoga of secret mantra, supreme ones like Lion of Shakyas and others defeated unbearable and mighty. Hosts of Maras, realizing the world would follow him, he returned the wheel of Dharma and entered into nirvana. And so in front of you in the space, imagine the Buddha in person, surrounded by great masters of India, as well as the great masters of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, who have come from the three provinces, the traditional three provinces of Tibet, Uzang, Dötu, and Dome. So imagine all these masters as well here.
Oh, yeah.
So you are going to take the Bodhisattva vow now. So there are 7 to 8 billion people in this world, but amongst them, only a small number of people think of bodhicitta. So since the time of the Tibetan kings Songtsen Gampo and particularly Trisong Detsen, Tibetans have really left a great legacy and made contribution to the teaching of the Buddha. So the Tibetan Buddhists as well as the Bon tradition followers have preserved this teaching of the Buddha. So we study and memorize texts like Abhisamaya Alankara and study books which are the logic primer books, studying the collected topics, and then the different taxonomy of mind and awareness, and also the logic and reason. And so in this way, we have followed the teaching of the Buddha in terms of study, by following the teaching through logic and reasoning. So there is a story here. During the time of Trisong Detsen, the Kamalashila was invited to Tibet from India. So on the one side, Kamalashila led a group of Buddhists with including Tibetans, and then on the other side was Chinese meditators, and the King Tizong Detsen, Emperor Tizong Detsen, sat in the middle on his throne, and the two parties on his right and left had a debate. And Kamalashila and his followers were very learned and well versed in the different scriptures. And they understood how the practitioners must tread through the paths and grounds that lead to enlightenment, whereas the Chinese side didn't have much to explain, but they are focused more on just meditation. And so, after the debate, Tizong Detsen had said that you do meditation and you are making contribution to the Dharma in your own ways. But here we gathered for a discussion and debate, and therefore you have not much to offer in terms of the explanation of the Dharma at this debate. And so he sent the Chinese monks back to China, and so led by Tizong Detsen himself and helped by the Indian masters like Kamalashila and so forth, Tibetans have focused on the study, extensive study of the teaching of the Buddha. So the teaching of the Buddha comprising the scriptures, scriptural teachings, and the realization, experience within oneself. And so by understanding the teaching through study, studying the scriptures and integrating the teaching within oneself so that we build experience within oneself, we preserve the teaching of the Buddha through study and practice. So do not just be satisfied with faith and devotion in the teaching, but it's important to study the teaching. You have books in different languages, Chinese or English and other languages, and there are scholars like Geshis and learned scholars like Geshis and so forth, from whom you can receive the teachings. So you should pursue the teaching of the Buddha through study. So we are at the point of taking Bodhisattva vows. So going through the through the power of the Vajra mantra, the Buddhas of the three times, endowed with the Vajra body, speech, and mind, have thoroughly attained peerless sublime wisdom. So with regard to the complete teaching of the Buddha, by engaging in study and practice, combining these two and preserving the teaching exists. This great tradition exists amongst the Tibetans. We have very extensive tradition of extensive study, which is not there in other Buddhist followers of Buddhist traditions in China or other parts of Buddhist countries. So one time when I was in Varanasi or somewhere, it was in Bodh Gaya recently. So I was in a meeting, and on the opposite wall there was a painting of the Buddha, and as I was thinking of the Buddha, I had this kind of epiphany that the Buddha came forward to me and called me, and then I was going to him. There was nothing much that he had to offer as gift to me, but he picked up a chocolate and gave it to me. So what I have been able to serve the Buddha Dharma, the Buddha himself with his omniscient wisdom mind must have, it seems he had seen this through. And so now we are going to do the Bodhisattva vows. So the Buddha, surrounded by the great 8 Bodhisattva close disciples, and the great Indian masters, the great Panditas and yogis, as well as Tibetan masters. In front of them, we are going to take the Bodhisattva vows. So the Bodhicitta is something that the Buddha himself had practiced, and through this practice he became enlightened. And his followers, Master Nagarjuna and his disciples, followers, and also have reached the highest elevated states of the path through the practice of bodhicitta. And so for us also, we should tread the path and climb up the ladder of the path to enlightenment through the practice of bodhicitta. I am the one who inspires you and to do this practice. So through this, I make this prayer for the Buddha Dharma to flourish and also to promote the teaching of the Buddha so that it spreads widely in China, Mongolia, Tibet, and China proper. Please repeat these. I take refuge in the 3 jewels, individually disclose all my non-virtues, rejoice in the virtues of all beings, and mentally take up the enlightenment Buddha. Until I am enlightened, I take refuge in the Buddha Dharma and Supreme Assembly. I generate the spirit of enlightenment to fully attain my own and others' welfare. Having generated the spirit of Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests, engage in the supreme and wonderful conduct of bodhisattvas. May I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. So, next is the tantric vow. So I take the bodhisattva and tantric vows every day. So Yangten Rinpoche is telling His Holiness that the tantric vows may be done tomorrow, not necessarily today. So the Lama protects you with the action mantra Om Khandaroi Hum. Head, you should visualize that at your heart there is a blue 5-pronged vajra, the center of which is marked with a black Hum. At your throat, there is a red 8-petaled lotus, the center of which is marked with a red letter A. And at your crown, eight-spoked wheel, in the center of which is marked with the white letter Om. So then, while holding the Vajra, the Lama applies drops of scented water with his right hand. So you have firm faith in the teaching of the Buddha, and with that, together with that, you should meditate and cultivate bodhicitta. So when you have this great altruistic, excellent state of mind of wishing to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, so you are offered these, the sense, so right hand in ascending order, first to your heart, then to your throat, and the crown residing on mouth. So with these offerings of flower, lamp, and incense, and fragrance, these are offered respectively to your head, to your in front of you, to your and to your chest. So next is throwing the toothstick. So the stick pointed to the eastern direction, and so representing all other people in the audience here. The toothstick is thrown in the tray. And then the giving of handfuls of water. The Lama recites the all-encompassing action mantra Om Khandari Hum Pen, gives you 3 handfuls of fragrant water that has arisen from letter Bam. And then next is giving the protection string. He recites the mantra Om Hum Hum Hum. So from whom arises the red string, the length of your body that is folded 3 times. So somebody was trying to take the blessed water without taking off, without removing the mask. So he's only just joking. And next is giving the kusha stalks. With Om Khandari Hum Pad, the tip and the root of the kusha stalks are undamaged. The long kusha stalk arises from the hum. It is for the mattress, go under the mattress, and the Lama recites all-encompassing action mantra Om Khandari Hum Pad. The short kusha rises from the. And so, when you go to bed tonight, you need to put these the kusha grass stalks under your bed cushion and then the pillow. So, like an Udambara flower, the omniscient ones appear only sometimes in the world, and then they do not appear. But the rising of the waves of sacred mantra is even rarer than that, though through it the peerless welfare of sentient beings can be accomplished without passing away. If even negative actions done more than 10 millions of eons ago are immediately and completely eliminated, upon seeing such a mandala, what need is there to speak of dwelling in the infinitely renowned ways of the mantra? By reciting the protective sacred mantra, one will attain the unsurpassed state. If someone's mind dwells unshakably in the supreme practice, he will overcome the lower realms which bring forth all suffering. Today, you great beings have achieved all an incomparable achievement. So all of you will be upheld in this teaching of the conqueror's children, and you great beings. So today you are going through the preliminary process, and tomorrow we will go through the actual initiation. And so through this practice of Tantra, you should feel that your mind and the experience of the teaching of the Buddha increases, so that you are reaching, you are closer and closer to the state of enlightenment. And you groupings dwell in being born into it. Therefore, tomorrow you'll be thoroughly born into the universal vehicle. By proceeding on the glorious supreme path, greatly giving rise to the supreme universal vehicle, you self-risen beings of great fortune become Tathagatas who know all the worlds. And next is, it is through an explanation of these words that you generate joy. So next, the 6 armors of Heruka are placed on your body of the body of the disciples. You are Heruka, and your heart is marked with the white syllable Om A, which are in the nature of Vajrasattva. Your head marked with yellow syllables Om Namahi, nature of Virachana. The crown marked with syllable Om Swahu, nature of Padma Nardeshwari. Your shoulders are marked with black syllables Om Bhokatevhe, which is the nature of Heruka, and your eyes are marked with orange syllables Om Hum Hum Ho, which are nature of Vajrasurya, and your forehead is marked with green syllable Om Per Ham, which is in the nature of Hayagriva, and are the essence of the bodily faculty of your limbs. And so next is giving the instruction to check your dream tonight. So if you don't, if you have a deep sleep without any dreams, that would be best. So by giving the protection cord and the kusha stalks, which symbolizes purity, or helps in purifying negativities. So in other words, when you go to sleep, as you fall asleep, your mind should be devoted with firm faith in the Lama, the Guru, and the deities. And also you should have positive states of mind, such as bodhicitta and so forth, and within that state of mind, you should fall asleep. So the longer kusha grass may be put under your mattress, or you can leave it underneath your pillow. So imagine your Heruka or Avalokiteshvara is only saying, in front of Heruka, imagine the So Heruka of Chakrasamvara, in front of the Chakrasamvara, imagine your guru. So it seems I have some imprint of the Krishnacharya, the Mahasiddha, Krishnacharya. So you should imagine your guru in front of the deity and check the dream at the time of the dawn. So it's not very important, but this is what you need to do to check the dream at the dawn stage. So please make the offering of mandala as thanks in gratitude for this preliminary process. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I visualize this as a Buddha field and offer it to you. May all living beings enjoy these pure fields. Edam Guru Ratna Mandal Kam Niyataya Me.
Chadanda Naman Gudan Chad Chicha Sembaladang Hero Gabot Dedan Lanje Garjishu Tamon Sadma Damse Sadma Deje Songyan Chokju Tatma Temba Deda Gini Tamo Nam Dagje Jis Sembi Jul Jul Je Semjang Gonje Donje Tagni Kero Garjurna Semjang Kero Gombanche Kalbal Shoy Sami Yondan Jam Palma Shen Yamshan Lala Boje Lala Dusan Neshe Sredan Lomalaje Dagin Dimbim Ringa Serche Donsa Dansandeya Pande Baldoje Desang Hatodo Chewonan Chochelan Chochewa Bedwar Esalangan Lago Yonam Bivarme Dukhanar Nyamthaida Sotwana Somugi Chekwa Chena Dega Jamsara So Chatara Chatan
This is the words of truth. The prayer of true words, written by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you whose glory is in an ocean of immeasurable qualities and who look upon poor beings as if they were your only child, Sugatas of the 3 times Bodhisattvas and your disciples, pray heed these lamentations of truth. May the entire teaching of the Buddha, which dispelled the torments of existence and peace, spread to benefit the whole wide world with help and happiness. May those who hold them, scholars and practitioners, flourish in their practice and the 10 activities of Dharma. Utterly oppressed by the intolerable intensity of their negative actions, deprived beings are tortured by interminable suffering, pacify the unbearable disease, wars, and famines, and bring them the succor of infinite joy and well-being. In particular, the people of Tibet, inheritors of the Dharma, are being destroyed by the many evils of barbarian hordes. Malevolent and heartless, in a river of blood and tears, arouse the forces of compassion that their torment may swiftly be stopped. Those hosts of savage oppressors, cruelly crazed by their own demonic passions. So with this, we are done with the preliminary process of the initiation.
소부서 단데 제가 요래 송도 제가 니 주요 넘버 로베르나스